April 13th, 2025. São Paulo vibrated with anticipation. The air was thick with humidity and excitement. Thousands of fans had arrived from across the country to see Lady Gaga. Hotels were overbooked. The streets near the stadium were blocked. Vendors shouted. Music echoed. LED screens flashed her face. But somewhere beyond the lights, someone was watching, unseen, unknown, and hidden in the shadows. Something else was stirring. In the darkest corners of the internet, hidden behind layers of encryption, obscure forums came alive. Cryptic posts emerged. Strange phrases in broken English and Latin. She is the key. At the precise frequency, the gate will respond. Some laughed it off. Others dug deeper. The posts were timed, always matching astronomical alignments. Every detail pointed to one night, April 13th. One location, São Paulo. One event, the Gaga concert. Was it a coincidence or a countdown? Brazilian cybercrime units had been tracing anonymous traffic for weeks. But the pattern was erratic. Messages were deleted seconds after being posted. New accounts surfaced only once, then disappeared. The only consistent term across them all was the awakening. What was awakening? And why on stage? Agents decided to monitor the concert closely. But they never expected what would actually unfold. Backstage was unusually quiet. The usual chaos, dancers, technicians, sound checks, was subdued. There were rumors among the crew. Lights flickered once, then again. One technician claimed he saw a reflection that didn't match his own. Security tripled. Radios whispered in code. But no one knew the full story. Only that something felt wrong. And it was getting closer. At 3:12 p.m., a junior staffer was checking power flow when he noticed it. An unmarked black backpack. It sat too neatly, too deliberately, beside a humming generator. Inside, there were wires, 2 timers set to 0, and a red symbol. Circular. Geometric. Disturbing. He froze, took a picture, then called it in. Within minutes, agents in plainclothes surrounded the area. The object wasn't a bomb. It wasn't anything recognizable. But one officer whispered, "It looks ritualistic." Security footage from a tunnel beneath the stage showed a flicker of movement. A dark blur. Humanoid in shape, but unnaturally fast. The figure passed through the frame in less than a second. Technicians assumed it was a glitch, but when slowed down, something became clear. It wasn't anyone on staff. Agents were alerted. They swept the tunnels. All they found was silence and the faint smell of burnt ozone. Experts were called in to analyze the strange red symbol. It bore resemblance to alchemical glyphs, but distorted. A spiral crossed by an inverted triangle. One analyst whispered, "This isn't new. I've seen this before, in classified Cold War files." They pulled records from a disbanded research group, the Oral Gate Society, a forgotten organization obsessed with unlocking consciousness through sound. The group had vanished decades ago. Their last experiment never explained. The concert was now hours away. Police patrolled rooftops, scanned trash cans, watched every entrance. Inside, officials in plain clothes positioned themselves along the arena. The crowd knew nothing. But backstage, the air was electric with tension. A dog barked twice, then went completely silent. Some guards whispered that the stage itself felt charged, like something beneath the floor was humming. At 6:47 p.m., 4 individuals were stopped near the south gate. No weapons, no IDs, but one carried a phone loaded with encrypted video files. In one, a candlelit room showed a person drawing the same red symbol in salt. Voices chanted in a language unknown, guttural, rhythmic. Another video showed astrological charts, their alignment timed precisely to the concert's start. Were they fanatics or something more organized? The most disturbing file was only 10 seconds long. A whisper, repeating, "She is the vessel. The vessel opens the gate." A match was found in a 1947 classified recording from an audio lab. Same cadence, same tone, but the voices were different. The pitch was inhuman. Even modern software failed to replicate it. Investigators stopped playback halfway through. Some said they felt watched. At exactly 8:59 p.m., the stadium plunged into cheers. Lady Gaga appeared, radiant, powerful, in full costume. The crowd roared, but some immediately noticed a cold shift. Lights near the edges of the stadium flickered 3 times. Camera operators reported sudden interference. One even saw a shadow move across the lens, but no one was there. The performance began, but something unseen had joined them. At 9:33 p.m., during Born This Way, the arena changed. Screens blinked out. Mid-chorus, the sound cut. Lights went black. For 23 full seconds. In that silence, an invisible tone vibrated through the stadium. It wasn't heard. It was felt. Bones vibrated. Stomachs churned. Some fell. Others screamed. One fan near the front collapsed, convulsing. And just as suddenly, the lights returned. But nothing was the same. That tone wasn't in the concert mix. It registered only on ultra-low frequency meters. 7 Hz, a range believed to cause anxiety, dread, hallucinations. Some say it's the frequency of fear. A handful of attendees later complained of nightmares, lasting for weeks. One fan claimed she heard whispering in her sleep, the same chant from the video. The vessel opens the gate. In the security control room, a chilling scene played out. A hooded figure appeared near the main sound tower, just before the blackout. They didn't move, didn't speak, and then vanished, mid-frame. No one at the scene saw them. Only the camera did. When staff tried to replay the footage, the file was corrupted. Only the last frame remained, a silhouette, staring directly at the lens. The following day, no official statement was released. The suspects were quietly let go. No press briefing, no explanations. Online, theories exploded. Was it an occult event disguised as a concert, a psychic attack, or mass hysteria? But those who were there knew something real had happened. They could feel it in their bones. A group of digital investigators enhanced the red symbol. Layer by layer, they matched it to a forgotten group, the Oral Gate Society. Founded in the 1940s, the group claimed sound could open passages, not metaphorically, but literally. One document from 1947 even described a rupture between fields of perception. They called their process tuning reality. But the experiment stopped after several unexplained disappearances. One file simply ended with a note: "Never play the tone again." This raised a chilling question. Was Lady Gaga a target? Or worse, was she a vessel, unknowingly part of something bigger? Her lyrics, her themes, her iconography. Some believed they matched the ancient symbols used by the group. Others claimed her presence alone could activate the ritual. No proof, just patterns and fear. Multiple fans after the concert posted identical stories of seeing a figure on stage that didn't match any dancer. Some said he had no face. Others said he simply stood still, watching. When asked to describe him, no one could agree. But they all insisted. He was there. Deep web forums reignited. Dozens of anonymous users returned, claiming, "The gate has opened." One post read, "She did not sing. She summoned." IP addresses traced to servers in abandoned buildings. Many accounts vanished within hours. Others never stopped posting, repeating the same phrases. The vessel, the gate, the tone. Skeptics claimed mass hysteria. That collective fear triggered hallucinations. Psychologists called it crowd illusion. But recordings told a different story. In dozens of videos, synced perfectly, the blackout lasted the exact same time, 23 seconds. And in all of them, the same flicker appeared. A shape, a movement, something between the lights. One recording from the upper deck captured a strange sound. Not music, not static. A low, throbbing hum. Undeniable. When reversed and filtered, it resembled breathing. Heavy, rhythmic. And underneath it, barely audible, a phrase. "This is only the beginning." Audio engineers examined the stadium's systems. They found anomalies in the sound logs. Frequencies not input by any technician. 7.2 Hz, pulsing every 3 seconds during the blackout. Some called it an acoustic anomaly. Others called it a message. No one could explain how it was broadcast. One engineer quit on the spot after reviewing the data. He left a handwritten note. "I heard something no human should." Another deleted every file on his machine. He moved to a remote village and hasn't spoken publicly since. When a journalist reached out, he simply replied, "If you play it again, it might answer." A 3D reconstruction of the red symbol revealed something chilling. Its geometry aligned perfectly with resonance maps found in ancient temples, especially one diagram etched into stone in Göbekli Tepe. That site was built over 11,000 years ago. Was the same knowledge passed through millennia? And if so, who's keeping it alive now? Lady Gaga herself never addressed the event. No tweets, no press conference. Her next scheduled show was canceled abruptly. Her team cited logistical issues. But fans noticed something strange. She unfollowed every account related to that night, and for weeks, she wore only black. The stadium staff filed over a dozen internal reports, all classified as equipment failure. But one worker claimed hearing whispers in the tunnel hours after the show. Another refused to return, saying the floor near the stage felt alive. Maintenance logs recorded energy spikes that fried thermal cameras. And the red symbol was found etched, faintly, into the wall behind the soundboard. At 3 a.m., hours after the concert, a security cam caught one final frame. A hooded figure standing dead center on the stage. He didn't move, didn't react. Then, without motion, he vanished. The frame blurred, the file corrupted, but the image remained burned into the sensor, literally. Authorities later sealed all materials. The backpack, the phones, the footage. No charges filed, no suspects named. An internal memo leaked, calling it a frequency-related stress event. But those words meant nothing to the public. And to the people who were there, they weren't enough. Attendees reported symptoms weeks later. Nosebleeds, vivid dreams, electrical interference. One woman's pacemaker failed briefly, exactly at 9:33 p.m. Some claimed they could still hear the tone, not with their ears, but inside their heads. Something happened that night. Something that couldn't be explained away with science or skepticism. A threshold may have been crossed, one we didn't even know existed. And if it opened once, it could open again. Maybe it already has.